What if I told you that you could transform pretty much every conversation, every relationship, and every big opportunity in your life just by getting a handle on your emotions? Well, the great news is you absolutely can. This isn't some secret you're born with. It's a skill. And today we're going to break down exactly how you can learn it. You know the feeling, right? You walk into a room and before anyone even says a word, you can just feel it. Maybe it's tension, maybe it's excitement, that invisible current in the air. That's the power of emotion. And learning how to read and navigate that current is a total superpower. For the longest time, we thought the key to success was all about IQ, being book smart. But things have really changed. The people who are truly crushing it today, the ones who lead and inspire, they're not just smart, they're people smart. They have a high EQ. And honestly, it's become the new secret weapon for success in our world. So what is emotional intelligence really? Well, here's the breakdown. It's your ability to recognize what you're feeling, understand it, manage it, and then influence it. And here's the kicker. It's also about doing that for the people around you. This isn't about ignoring your feelings. It's about listening to them, because they're giving you some really valuable data to work with. And look, if you think this is all just some soft skill stuff, get this. Landmark research by Daniel Goleman found that a mind-blowing 90% of the difference between top performers and average ones in leadership roles comes down to emotional intelligence. 90%. Just let that sink in. When the pressure's on, it's not what you know, but how you handle yourself that really sets the best apart.
Okay, so to get a handle on our emotions, we first have to understand where they even come from. So let's pull back the curtain a little bit and look at the science, at the two drivers inside your brain that are in a constant battle over how you feel and act.
So, picture this. You've got two drivers in your head. First, there's your emotional brain. Think of it like a super sensitive alarm system. It's fast, it's reactive, and its main job is to just scream, "Pay attention, react now." Then you have your rational brain. This one's more like a calm, thoughtful pilot, trying to see the whole map before making a move. There's this constant tug-of-war going on, and EQ is basically the skill of deciding who gets to be in charge.
And this brings us to something called an amygdala hijack. We've all been there. It's that moment when the alarm system completely overrides the pilot. It's when you hit send on that angry email you immediately wish you could take back. You snap, you overreact, and 5 minutes later you're thinking, what was that? That was the hijack. EQ is the power to stop that hijack before it even happens. So how in the world do we start building that power? How do we prevent those hijacks from taking over? Well, it all starts with the single most important foundational skill of emotional intelligence, self-awareness. Because the bottom line is simple. You can't control what you don't recognize in the first place.
Seriously, think about your EQ like you're building a house. Self-awareness is the concrete foundation. Without a solid, honest understanding of what you're feeling and why you're feeling it in the moment, everything else you try to build on top of it, managing those feelings, connecting with others, it's all eventually just gonna fall apart. Okay, here's a super practical tool you can start using today. It's called an emotional audit. It's 4 simple steps. 1, just pause. Stop and ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? 2, what triggered it? Pinpoint the cause. 3, notice your body. Is your chest tight? Are your hands clenched? And 4, this is the magic step. You get to choose your response instead of just letting a reaction choose for you. All right, so once you start getting better at recognizing your emotions, we level up. The next stage is actively managing them. This is where you make that incredible shift from being on emotional autopilot to actually grabbing the steering wheel yourself. I absolutely love this analogy. See, most of us go through life as an emotional thermometer. We just react to and reflect the temperature of the room. If everyone's stressed, we get stressed. But someone with high EQ, they're an emotional thermostat. They can sense the temperature for sure, but then they decide what the temperature should be. They actually set the tone. And here is a little piece of science that is so empowering. The actual chemical rush of an emotion, that flood of anger or anxiety, it only lasts for about 90 seconds in your body. That's it. If a feeling lasts longer than that, it's because you're choosing to feed it by replaying the story in your head. This means you have a 90-second window to just let that emotional wave come and go. So, what do you do in those crucial 90 seconds? You use the pause and respond technique. It's so simple. First, name the emotion. Just saying to yourself, okay, this is frustration, takes away so much of its power. Second, take one deep breath. It's like a reset button for your whole nervous system. Third, ask a better question, like, what's the most useful thing I can do right now? And finally, you choose. You respond thoughtfully instead of just reacting blindly.
So we've done a lot of the internal work, right? Awareness, management. But now let's talk about the incredible payoff when you turn these skills outward. Let's talk about how EQ completely changes the game when it comes to your relationships with other people.
The key that unlocks all of this is empathy. And what is it? It's the ability to really step into someone else's emotional shoes, to get a sense of what they're feeling from their perspective, all without losing yourself in the process. And it is so important not to confuse empathy with sympathy. Sympathy is when you feel bad for someone. It kind of creates distance, right? It's like you're standing at the edge of a pit looking down at them. Empathy is feeling with someone. Empathy is climbing down into that pit with them and saying, hey, I'm here with you. And that's what builds real trust.
So why does all this matter so much? Because empathy is the engine of human connection. It's how we build trust. It's how we solve conflicts. It's what turns a relationship from just a simple transaction into something truly transformational. And really, it fulfills one of the deepest needs we all have, to feel seen, to feel heard, and to feel understood.
So here's the big takeaway from all of this. Your emotions are not your boss. They aren't orders that you have to follow. They're just data, really important data telling you what you care about. So the real question, the one you get to answer every single day is, what are you going to do with that information?